Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra. We're starting with the newspaper review. My name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
And I am Ijoma Uche. A very good morning to you and welcome to the Swiss edition of Good Morning Anambra.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be starting the program shortly after this break. Tradition here, will begin the newspaper review with stories making headlines on ABS website. And the very first story we have for you this morning is Solution City Project, Oka nearing completion. That's coming from Commissioner Onyenji. Tears flows. Okay, take that.
Tears flow as 3 siblings found in freezer were laid to rest at Oga.
2025 International Women's Day. Mrs. Soludo asks women to acquire skills for increased empowerment.
Soludo warns hotel owners against delaying implementation of provisions of Anambra State Homeland Security Law 2025. Community
WhatsApp group administrator killed in Pakistan for removing member.
A cleric venerable Ike urges Christians to be strong in faith to overcome manipulations.
Anambra youth celebrates women on International Day in Oka.
Eziago Community Urumba South Council launches operational unit of Agune Chamber.
Philanthropist equals or backs Soludo for second term.
Panama releases 65 migrants deported from U.S.
And now, sports. EPL Chelsea back to top 4.
Go on.
Federal government converts Kumo General Hospital Gombe State to Federal Medical Center. And also, on a sports note there, we have NPFL. Rivers United close gap as Remo Stars drop points. That's all we have for you on ABS website. Let's pick this 2025 International Women's Day. We are still in the week anyway, but then where women are being celebrated for the laudable things they are doing in the society, and we are still asking that they need to do more. Actually, just like the First Lady is saying, asking women to acquire skills for increased empowerment. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, you agree. It's good that you agree because most men will say that when you empower a woman, she will start being bossy in the house. So keep her down so that she will continue to be loyal and submissive. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, I don't know where that submission is coming from, but then we also have it that when you train a woman, you train in a community. Most people already know that. Hardly do you see women tell you that they don't have shishi. Very, very rare. So that's to tell you that women are better economists and managers of resources. So Soludo wants hotel owners against delaying implementation of provisions of Anambra State Homeland Security 2025. I think part of that would be the data collection of those that probably make use of hotels. You insist on your customers to furnish you with their proper details, not fictitious names, properly. Let's get to identify.
Do you know when the names are fictitious?
With ID card. You understand? Driver's license and the rest of it.
So if you don't have your driver's license, you don't have your
there will be other provisions.
Valid ID cards.
There will be other.
You are not going to lodge in my hotel.
There will be other provisions. And sincerely speaking, if you travel abroad, you don't just go to hotel and just lodge without.
I know. We're looking at the things that you look out for. Yeah. Not when you ask for ID card, they say it doesn't have ID card, and you say, okay, maybe you're not going to lodge it. Lodge here. There are other things you ask for, and then there are proper ways of taking inventories of people that come into your hotel too, assuming they don't have ID card. Even when they do, I could come in with AJ's ID card or whatever. Okay, when they do, there should be CCTV and there should be a whole lot of things you put on ground in your hotel to checkmate insecurity. That's
very
what we're
important.
saying there. And then apart from that, I think I heard their response. I monitored that meeting, and I heard the response of the hospitality industry guys, and they were saying too that the government had to look into taxes and levies. Okay, sometimes for you to meet up in the running of the hospitality industry, you have to overlook certain things, okay, to make sure the money is coming in for you to be able to meet up with your taxes, okay, so that the government should also look into the taxes and revenues accruable to that industry to make sure that they run their industry with the government helping them to run it perfectly.
Okay, with that, let's go to the first paper for review this morning, and that will be the Daily Sun newspaper, and the banner headline is screaming, Catholic Bishop warned Tinubu political leaders. And then the writer there says, Nigeria sitting on a ticking time bomb, demand action against youth unemployment, corrupt leadership, electoral manipulation, prison reforms orders. And also we have our Rivers crisis. Fubara succumbs, agrees to meet 27 lawmakers. And then the writer there says to discuss presentation of budget orders. And then we have Natasha suspension. Don't politicize, trivialize call for due process in Senate. Saraki tells Akpabio, that's one Senate president to another. And then we have Transcorp Group records 408 billion revenue in 2024. And then we have our price war. Petrol importers explore new markets as losses mount. National security anxiety in PDP as Supreme Court hears Anyanwu's appeal today. The writer there says opposition party reschedules NEC meeting. Oil prices slump drags Nigeria's forex reserves into 8th weekly decline. That's interesting. That's the much we have for you on the daily, the front page of the daily newspaper.
Daily, what did you take? You took the Sun.
Yeah, the Sun.
Okay, so we're going to look at the Daily Times now. And then the banner headline there says, opposition politicians scheming to remove me. This is coming from Akpabio. And the children will call you cry baby. Okay, but on top of the name templates, only IBB responsible for June 12 annulment actions of his government. This is coming from Abacha family. And down here, Rivers crisis, Fubara invites Ameulu led lawmakers to meeting today. Sanu slams government over 50 billion naira unpaid and allowances over taxation. PDP National Working Committee dashes hope, postpones NEC to May 15. A lot of things is happening in that political party. Okay, police rescue 2 kidnapped NDDC staff in Biosaf Forest after 3 days. Wow. Okay, that's all coming from here.
Well, let's see what we have for you on the Punch newspaper. Petrol jumps to 105% to 15 trillion naira. That's coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. System glitch, U.S. Embassy to reschedule visa interviews. Saraki Serap tackle Akpabio over Natasha's suspension. And then the banner headline on the Punch newspaper is saying, at budget ultimatum, pro-Wike lawmakers give condition to meet Fubara. And the writer says, lawmakers allege improper letter service, ousted local government chairman, mock government. And we have South Congress deepens PDP crisis as NWC Wike camp clash. Wow, 4,111 convictions secured, over 365.5 billion naira recovered in 2024. That's coming from the EFCC. El Rufai meets Aregbesola Bakare as ex-governor deepens consultation. Federal government under fire over plans to import Europe waste. Man flees as girlfriend found dead in Lagos apartment. Diphtheria, Lagos meets WHO, NCDC over outbreak in school. That's all we have for you on the Punch newspaper.
Okay, I'm from Vanguard. We'll have the stories coming. Paradise Lost, how Unity Schools crashed from glory to dishonor. Very pathetic. Other stories. At 99, all I want for Nigeria is unity, good governance. And this is coming from Tanko Yakasai. You know, you guys will just turn this country upside down, and when you are nearing your grave, you start talking Nyampo. Okay, on top of the name template, Aboti Uduaga's suspension. Saraki Serap disagree with Babio. And then hardship, insecurity worsening in Nigeria. This is coming from the Catholic bishops. I think other people should start talking. Don't just talk once and you go in. Talk every day. That is how to get what you want. Okay, do we still have any story of interest here? I am building businesses that prioritize humanity. Asiwaju Prince Olutunji Olusoji says this. And this one, I want to see this story, but it does appear he doesn't want me to see it.
You mean the women?
No, EFCC secures. Okay, I think we have seen that story from other people. Okay, let's move on.
Can you picture the Zenith Bank celebrates 2025 International Women's Day? Can you picture the rider there?
Yeah, I can't. It's not very clear.
Okay. Let's go to the next paper for review this morning. That will be the Daily Independent newspaper. The banner headline screaming there, Abacha's family rejects Babangida's claim on June 12 poll annulment, berates Babangida for distorting history. That's the rider there. We still have Catholic bishop decry widespread hardship, deepening insecurity. Taxes have rendered 70,000 minimum wage useless. That's coming from SANU. And then we have Independent 2024 award winners emerge. I can't see any new face here. Fubara invites pro-Wike lawmakers for meeting. Transcorp Group records growth in first year 2024. Revenue increases by 107%. BPT by 132%. That's what we have for you on the Daily Independent.
And from the ever-busy front page of the Guardian newspaper, we'll have the stories coming. Worries as EFCC recovers 1 trillion naira stolen cash, assets from politicians and others. And then here, Abacha's family debunked Babangida's claim, says IBB annulled June 12 election. Take responsibility. Stop this blame game. We're saying that Aboti Uduaga's suspension of first legal actions, Serap tells Babio. There's so many legal actions that Serap have in the court, and I don't know how many of them they've been able to win. Concerns over delayed implementation of a Rosanya panel report. Where's that report? Where is that Rosanya report? Okay, manufacturers raised alarm over fresh hike in FRCN dues, real sector collapse. Stop establishing new varsities without funding plan. Don tells federal government, because I heard about new university springing up last week. Fubara to meet with pro-Wike lawmakers amid political uncertainties in Rivers. Catholic bishops decry worsening economy, insecurity, correctional centers. And then Anambra PDP splinter group, ex-APGA members, decamp to NRM. Which one is NRM?
That should be National Revolution Movement also. Up next is the Daily Trust newspaper, and we have community leaders, bandits work out peace deal in Katsina local government. And then we have General Sigurd abduction, reminder of alarming insecurity in the north. And then we have, that's coming from the AACF. Rivers lawmakers dismisses Fubara's invitation. And the banner headline, 2027 Tinubu's re-election campaign kicks off in the north. Wow, 2 years after, 2 years before. El Rufai meets Aregbesola Bakare in Lagos, Atiku in Abuja. President's son intensifies Ramadan visit. Stop tarnishing Abacha's image over June 12. Family tells IBB. Al-Kwara Miyati, Allah leader, was killed. Kidnappers fed us with Gary, freed Benue varsity students. That's all we have for you on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper.
And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, banner headline there says, Natasha Saraki cautions Akpabio. And the other story is coming from there. Okay, let's look at what he said actually in that caution. He says, advises him not to politicize, trivialize, call for due process in Senate. Rescind suspension of Kogi lawmaker or face legal action, Saraptes Akpabio. And then in 15 years, all lawmakers suspended by NAS, state assemblies, reinstated by courts. This is coming from Falana, job don't come. So you just want to remind you to stop talking, come to us. Let's go and reinstate you. Okay, Transcorp Group records 107% revenue growth in FY 2024. PBT rises by 132%. Importers to pay more as shipping companies increase charges. Monetary recoveries funding Nigeria's education loan, EFCC. PDP to hold South, Southwest, North Central Zonal Congresses, April 12. Okay, Catholic Bishop story we have seen several times. Abacha family we have seen several times. Any other story of interest? Our Foundation webinar, Africa, experiencing complex, evolving challenges, must take destiny in own hands. Speakers who have been speaking in webinars, and our problem is implementation. Does anybody listen? Does anybody try to implement all this, the outcome of all these webinars, conferences? Okay, we're even looking at the outcome of the conference we had since how many years ago? Let's go. Well,
let's go to the last paper, but not the least, for review this morning, and that will be the Blueprint newspaper. And then we have Journey So Far in Service, My Journey So Far in Service, or A Journey So Far, A Journey in Service. Take responsibility for June 12 annulment. Abacha family tackles IBB. Urges Nigerians to ignore attempts to manipulate public perception. And then we have gunmen kill Kwara Mieti Allah chair Idris Abubakar. Transcorp Group records growth revenue increases by 107% in 2025. It's disaster if Super Eagles fail to qualify for World Cup. Natasha, uninformed commentators, herbalists quoting holy books. That's coming from Akpabio. And then we have footballer Bows invites Amahewule led Rivers Assembly for talks today. Lawmakers summon Rivers Independent Electoral Commission Chair, Commissioner for October 5th local government polls. Suspected headers kill 7 in Benue community. Nigeria's foreign trade surges. And then we have drug kickpin bag 15-year jail term for trafficking. And that's all we have for you on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Now,
AJ, hold on. Before you go on, this story, Natasha, uninformed commentators, herbalists, quoting holy books. Who was Akpabio referring to? Because that statement comes from Akpabio.
Yeah, to a whole lot.
A whole lot?
Yeah. People that seem to be on the side of Natasha. You know, people quoting the Holy Bible.
I hope he's not talking to Saraki. Okay, let's move on.
Well, let's begin with this issue of the hardship that seems to have, gathered momentum across all dailies this morning. That's coming from the Catholic Bishop, Tinubu political leaders. But at the same time, while they are busy warning Tinubu and political leaders, I think they are culpable in this issue too. Because there is no election in this country that goes on without the endorsement of the cleric, be it the imam, be it the bishop, be it the Christian Association of Nigeria. Before this new government was even ushered in, we we saw a caricature of some, let's say, hired bishops. You remember that picture, that video that went viral?
Somebody said hired bishops.
Yeah, hired
because
bishops.
I can't see any renowned bishop coming out to do what they did.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
what I'm
when,
saying.
and when you say endorsement, I think the churches endorse candidates. They don't endorse INEC. So whether they endorse you or not, what INEC is
so now, if they endorse
should do
an INEC
does not concern any endorsement.
Okay,
if
now,
you win election, you win election.
You,
if you
now,
don't win election, if the whole world endorses
it's better you
it doesn't
speak
concern us.
when you know that the system that brought in any government is skewed. You understand? You don't speak when you are beginning to see the manifestation of a corrupt system that brought in a government. That's my point of view.
Oh.
Now you're crying, but you didn't speak when you needed to speak.
When you're
at
supposed
the
to
very
speak.
beginning. You should have come out to castigate so many things that has been going wrong in this country.
Well, they've been talking, but who is listening? Who is listening?
Put your talk to action. You understand?
How?
There are actions that these are people that we
They've gone on protest.
If
They have gone on a march. They've done a whole lot. But the country is hijacked.
When a political party can deem it necessary to hire whosoever to be bishops, clothe them, robe them, then that will make you understand the importance of what these bishops actually stand for.
I was even thinking you're going to ask, what was the action of the real bishops when they saw this happen? Is this not culpable? Can't somebody go to court for this? Okay.
So when you're beginning now to cry, bishop wants political leaders and the president on the hardship in the country. The hardship in the country didn't start 2 years ago. The hardship in the country has been there. But it's just that it takes a different form, it takes a different shape, it takes different dimensions.
Okay, but they mentioned a whole lot of things. They mentioned hardship, unemployment, insecurity.
And even electoral manipulation.
Yes, this is where I expect everybody to start talking now. We'll keep quiet until we get to the election year. You start, after making all the efforts to make sure you have a good election, go to get your PVC, do this and do that. That day, one single human being that didn't go to school very well will determine the fate of the whole of over 200 and something million people in Nigeria, and nothing happens. If you ask me, I never knew that this nation will allow the last umpire to conduct the next election in this country. Nobody, everybody went to bed. Nobody talked or said anything after the election. Now, they're preparing another one. Do you think it's going to be different from what you have seen before? This is where I expect the activists to start running, through now. This election, the coming election, must not be conducted with these people that did the last one, except you are comfortable with the outcome. Yeah, let's go.
When talking about the election, as far as I know, is it the person that's conducted it, that sat at the ends of affairs, or is it the system? Because the system, there's an electoral act that was not followed.
So why won't you follow it?
No, that's what
is there no punishment for someone that refused to follow the law?
Or is it the person that is...
Everything is involved.
Talking about the elections, the reason why Nigerian politicians won't speak is because they believe that since there is a loophole of exploitation,
they benefit from it.
Let me struggle, grab power, and if it works for me. But if we have honest people that actually seek the glorification of this country, seeing it transform into what it ought to be based on the natural resources and human resources we have here, the first point of contact to deal with would have been that electoral act. In fact, a president that is what his onions would have come up and say, this is rubbish. I can't stand, you understand?
Nobody violates the law and goes scot-free. It's only in Nigeria that you violate law and nothing happens.
How can I be setting an example with this kind of precedent? So that's it for another one. Now,
because that was what was his name?
Yaradua?
No, not yes, Yaradua did. I know that the election that brought me into power is flawed, but we don't have to continue like this. Let us have a reform, and then so that subsequently we'll have good elections. That's how statements talk.
Now let's say the banner headline on the Daily Times: opposition politicians scheming to remove me. I don't think anybody's scheming to remove you.
He shot himself in the foot, and he's doing cry baby.
Yes, I wouldn't say politicians, you understand, are scheming. Sincerely speaking, for you to have risen to the point of being a governor, being a senator, then being a Senate president, I believe there should be some level of maturity in actions and in spoken words, you understand? Sometimes they say silence is golden. And for those that we entrench the leadership positions to, we expect them to behave exceptionally. So now, coming to say that politicians and opposition are scheming to see out of power, when your utterances, your behavior, the internet never lies. You've made so many remarks that are very unpleasant, you understand, to the Nigerian masses, those that you're actually leading and the rest of it.
The one that
and now you're
calling
coming
us
out.
herbalist.
You understand? And now you're coming out to tell us that we're scheming you. You're the one that is scheming yourself. You're showing the level that you have degenerated into, that you are not capable of being
speaking.
a Senate leader, let alone, senator, let alone a Senate leader. So I think your crew, your team, including your family, if you guys can go to the National Assembly and be taking kisses and the rest of it all, then you guys should look inwards and try to see what you can do in order to fix Nigeria. If any person is scheming for your ouster, it should be you and nobody else.
Yeah, look at what really happened. I think they say if you want to go to, anybody going to equity should go with clean hands.
Exactly.
If you feel that what you have done is the right thing to do, why must you be afraid if anybody is planning to remove you? That's just it. Because when you look at how that matter was handled, you know that that's not the way to handle issues. Okay, you suspended her for 3 days, that's Natasha, for 6 months, and you are saying it is not because of the accusation of sexual harassment, but the sexual harassment issue that she brought for ethics and prejudice committee to look at. You guys killed it on arrival without even looking at it. You suspended somebody before investigation. So we investigated what you did, and this is, and that's why we are suspended. Nothing like that happened. So you did this to kill this. You suspended her because you feel her manner was unruly in the Senate, in the chambers. That was why. What about this other thing? You killed it immediately because you want to use this to kill that. You don't do like that now. We're not fools. Okay? So when you want to do things, do it rightly, so you won't be afraid if anybody is coming after your head.
Well, still talking about the newspaper review, we are seeing in most of the papers there, we saw the consultation going around. That's talking about Rufai meeting with Bakari Aregbesola. And Aregbesola, we all know, has fallen out with the president, you understand? That's talking about Tinubu for some time now. So I think there is this, what sometimes I begin to wonder, these politicians, is it that they have no other means of livelihood, no job?
What he's doing is just seeking for notice. If they appease him now, he will come back. That's how they do it. What happened when Buhari was in power, and they wanted to, what's his name? The former Imo State governor. What's his name? The big one.
Atiku Denwa.
No, not Atiku Denwa.
Okay, Rochas. So he had issues, and when they wanted to handle the issues, he started crying. No, if you touch me, I'll say what I know. And I left him and nobody wants to hear what you know. That kind of a thing. So that's what they're doing. That's Nigerian politicians for you. Okay, if he doesn't get what he wants to make noise, he wants to play relevance so that you bring him back. Once they say, oh boy, come now, why they do like this now? Come, don't worry, what do you want? Okay, all this scheming. That guy is an evil genius. I've said it here, several things here. They should watch that guy. If you don't appease him and do what he wants, he's going to do something that will surprise you because he won't stop. What could he possibly do that would be so shocking to Nigerians? That's what. See, the shock absorber.
Your shock absorber is
the
flat.
shock absorber of Nigerians.
It's flat now.
It's not a case of being flat. It's so turgid that there is nothing you throw at Nigerians that they can't take. Imagine the so-called harsh economic reality that Nigerians have been faced with. Even your purported 77,000 naira is not even taking anybody anywhere anymore. You understand?
You have added 7,000. It's 70,000 naira. And even the 70,000.
Oh, 70,000.
Even the 70,000 was not properly implemented in most states. Okay? So because when what do you call it, the traders out there hear that 70,000 have been added to your salary, I told them my own no reach. You know, that kind of a thing, make no cut our hairs. That's the way they do it. You know, as you go up, the thing trims down, and it continues that way. And then another thing is this taxation they talk about. Because let's now talk about that story of 70,000 naira. Being rubbish because of so many taxes and revenues, okay? That it don't just give me with right hand and take with the other ones. But it has always been there. But then, otherwise, we have made rubbish of the whole thing. That's what we're experiencing in Nigeria. Look at taxes and whatever they're doing. You go to ATM, it is tax. You go to POS, wahala. Everywhere you go, wahala.
Telecom subscribers, tax. Electricity tax.
Hiking everywhere. So if you have added 70, you have taken 140,000. That's what it means. So where are we even getting that money? Who runs a country like that? And you expect people to be happy.
That's what's happening here. And then now, talking about the securing of 4,111 convictions, and then the over 1 trillion naira cash, as recorded by EFCC, cash, 1 trillion. I don't see where it's happening, but they are telling us that this money is going into the student loan and the rest of it all. And yet, is that the reason why we are having new universities springing up? Whereas the old ones, the existing ones, are seeking funds to survive. Barely floating.
You are stifling the third fund.
You understand? You're stifling it is not even the case. That you're considering. It's a 70-30 situation that third fund might go in a few years' time. And this is what has actually given some light to most of these tertiary institutions we have in Nigeria. For the fact that civil servants like us can have our children go to school, and now the government is coming to tell us that, well, either the monies there are not being properly managed and the rest of it all, and now you're thinking of scrapping it. Scrapping it to implement what, or to bring what into existence, you know. A point will come whereby...
To bring more universities into existence.
To bring more universities into that is private universities, so that it will favor the so-called politicians. When they send their children abroad to school, they come back and then they begin to be university owners in Nigeria, where they have learned. Because it will get to a point. It will get to a point. There will be no longer political offices for every one of them that has taken their kids. Talking about Nigerian politicians that have taken their kids abroad to go and study. You understand? Now to come back and find a place to slot them in the country, it will get to a point whereby there will be no longer slots. Except they will condescend to be doing menial jobs like they would prefer to do abroad. You understand? So now the best business will now be build and own universities and then kill the state-owned and the federal-owned so that your children will be in business. But sincerely speaking,
and the children of the poor masses will not go to school again. Will not be able to
go to school again. And so these are the areas where we expect our so-called Catholic bishops to come up and be speaking and then, you know, pull their weights together, sincerely speaking.
I'm not so-called though.
Wow. Now they're talking about Paradise Lost, talking about the Vanguard newspaper, how Unity schools crashed from glory to dishonor. I think it will be very, very interesting to see what the banner, the writers are saying. They say schools lack basic facilities, classrooms, hostels overcrowded, outbreak of diphtheria in hit King's College. Imagine, prestigious King's College. Wow. PTA teachers earn 40,000 naira monthly. Wow. Our principals, parents fight over PTA levy. We defecate in the bush. That's coming from students. Parents, old students lament rot. We will retire. We will restore their lost glory. That's coming from the minister. Wow. These are most of the so-called political elites today that we have went to most of these schools, sincerely speaking.
The system that made you are killing the STEM system. Let's talk about this, what do you call it, PTA teachers. Why should there be PTA teachers when the government can employ teachers, like regularize their employment, like we did in Anambra State?
Yeah, I think the outcome of the PTA teachers are the teachers whereby the students are having shortages of special skills, special teachers for some subjects, and then this side.
Shun out teachers.
Yeah, but there are some deficiencies. There are some teachers that are very hard to find. They will tell you maybe physics or chemistry teachers and the rest of it, and some technical teachers. So the fact that the curriculum of the school can't, this was what actually I was told because I investigated this, and this was what I was told, that now the PTA, the parents, will now come together and fund the payment of those extra teachers because it didn't cover the payroll.
See what they are complaining, that they are earning 40,000.
That is those PTA teachers, it is
That's
stated.
what I'm saying. So
yeah.
why can't the state government, the federal
Incorporate,
government, regularize the appointment?
Exactly. Maybe that's what needs to be done. That's that.
If you are paying me 40,000, I'll be giving you an
40,000
output,
or
40,000 output. I'm telling you, the teacher will be coming to school once a week because he has to fuel his car. He has to, buy lunch, and he considers this one. He says, I will come only once a week. And then it's subject that you just take once a week. What do you expect the children to get? So that's just it. Regularize the teachers, the PTA teachers, and then integrate them. That's what I was saying. Pay them what you're supposed to pay them, and they will give out what they're supposed to give.
Yeah, let's see the Daily Independent and then your Independent 2024 award winners. Ijoma, do you see any person of meritorious award?
I looked on my face. I didn't see my face.
So now the question I keep asking is Independent Award 2025, award winners emerge. So now, on what category do we have these people emerging? Are these not the people that we voted for, you understand, using taxpayers' money to be doing what they are meant to do, and even most don't even do what they are actually meant to do. You understand? So does it mean that we don't have people in public service, you understand, in ministries and, in other sports endeavors and the rest of it all?
Faces of the people here, they are the people that have turned Nigeria upside. So they are rewarding
you understand?
They are rewarding themselves for bringing us where we are here, suffering.
Yes.
That's what they are rewarding themselves for. Apart from my governor, I saw the face of my governor here. You are not one of them.
So now the question is, you begin to wonder, what is actually the criteria that actually, make these people worthy of such awards?
I don't know.
Let me not add the meritorious. Are these the people that can, probably give you the fat envelopes and the rest of it, or probably maybe the connections and the rest of it all? Because there are people in this country. We talked about a scientist of Nigerian origin in America that discovered something that to do with, I think, solar and the rest of it, or not too long ago. And we have some Nigerians doing landmark achievement all over the globe. None of the faces of those people is being captured here. And yet we're still here. There's a girl that smashed that international mathematics competition. You understand? Our picture is not here. We can't find a picture of that girl. Imagine a competition that had Chinese, Japanese, America, Britain, Germany, name it. And she came overall best in mathematics competition. Our picture is not here. And these are the kind of people that we need to immortalize, as in not even immortalize, as in to champion. Now, young girl, what is it that you want to be in?
So that other young people, want to be like her.
To be like her.
I want to excel.
To excel.
To be recognized.
So these are, to me, in all sincerity, I really don't know. Now, coming to talk about former Senate President and President Senate, one time former and present, Saraki and Akpabio are telling us that don't politicize, trivialize, call for due process in the Senate.
I think we have seen that story.
Yeah, but we've not talked about it. Yeah, the story appeared in many of the papers. The Tribune has it, the Daily, the Guardian, I think. The Daily Independent. So that's coming from a former Senate president. And you've had people come and say that if this happened under Saraki's watch, you understand, that things like this wouldn't have escalated. Because we've had ugly incidences that happened under the young man's watch, but we didn't see things.
That guy is my spec when it comes to all the Senate presidents we've had. The ones I experienced, there were ones that were there before I came into this world. So the ones that I experienced their actions, Saraki is the man to beat. The Senate President of the Ninth Assembly. I won't forget him in a hurry. But the question is is he giving a brotherly or professional advice to Akpabio, Or is he defending his senator, Natasha, because they're from the state? Oh, Saraki is from Kwara.
He's from Kwara, yeah.
Okay. So, because what do you call it? Akpabio has started crying foul. There's a
plot
scheming
yeah.
against me, and it's coming from the northern angle. And these guys, the Saraki is of that region too. So, but the fact remains that if you have done the right thing, like we said earlier, that's why I said we have talked about it. If Akpabio feels that he has done the right thing, he shouldn't be afraid of anything. And if he feels he has not done it, there is still time for you to revisit that thing, that punishment. I don't think it's a good one. No matter who advises you, whether it's from the presidency or from the the judiciary, wherever you have that, I took that advice from to take that decision. It's offensive, very offensive.
Okay, let's wrap up with the story that made almost all the newspaper that we talked about today. That's talking about taking responsibility for June 12 annulment. That's Abacha family tackling IBB, and that's what we will be wrapping it up this morning.
Yeah,
and what?
He didn't go to Rivers State to find out what's happening between Wike guys and Fubara. Because I read the story up last night. Fubara invited them for a meeting. Let's discuss where you'll be meeting. Let's discuss your payment. Okay,
yeah.
The money is accruable to you. All this while that you are not there. Let's also discuss the budget. And the guys now say this morning. I just saw that the guys say that no, we are not coming. Why? We are not properly served. So, is it that they want to? They're taking instruction from somewhere because already, they just have started crying.
Yeah.
If you get together to impeach this guy, we'll set Rivers ablaze. If you are ready for that, do it. I think it's a developing story. We're going to look at that tomorrow.
Well, that's the much we can take on the newspapers that we've discussed this morning on Press Review. My name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
And my name is Sijama Uche. Thanks for joining us.
Up next is the discussion segment. Don't go anywhere.